That right there is the best way to protect your wrists when you're boxing training, bar none. Wrist injuries is one of, if not the most common injuries that I see in boxing training. On this video, I'm going to give you some methods to be able to prevent your wrists being injured, and if your wrists are already injured, with these methods that I give you, it will allow you to continue your boxing training. My name is Tony Jeffries, Olympic bronze medalist, former undefeated professional, 7 times national champion, European champion. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So the chances are, if you've got an injury on your wrist or you feel like an injury's coming on, the reason you're getting that is because you're punching incorrectly. And the punch that you're throwing is probably the hook or the uppercut. The bent arm punches is generally the punches that injure your wrists, and the reason being is because you're landing the punch wrong. You might be throwing the hook and turning your wrist before the punch lands. If you're turning your wrist when you're throwing the hook like this, it's not strong, it's not solid, that's going to hurt your wrist. The same with uppercut. If you're bending your wrist when you're throwing an uppercut, it's going to damage your wrist. You need to make sure it's solid, no matter whether it's the straight uppercut or the hook like this or like this. This needs to stay solid. So how can you prevent this from happening? And if it's happened already, how can you train with a bad wrist? Well, I'm going to show you right now. First thing I want to do is get some of this white athletic tape, and I'm going to wrap this around my wrist. But the way I wrap it around might be a bit different to what you tend to see, where people will wrap it around the wrist and it'll be like this, and that's it. What you want to do, you want to get a big section from as high up on your hand as you can here and come past your wrist joint, because this joint here is what we want to protect. So it'll look like this. I'm going around, I'm coming high up on my hand there. So if you notice, I've got my fingers open when I'm putting the tape around. The reason being, when I make a fist, my wrist expands. And if I did the tape around with my fingers closed and I made a fist, it's going to be too tight. So keep your fingers open while you're doing this. And now you can go around as much as you want, but right there, I've got my wrist pretty secure, and it's feeling good already. So that is the first step of doing this. Moving on to step number 2 is wrapping your hands. And you should be wrapping your hands before every single session anyway. But now what we're going to do when we wrap our hands, we're going to do extra protection on the wrists. Check here, I've done a video before of how to wrap your own hands. And on this video, I'm going to do it a little bit different because I want to protect the wrist. And that's how I like to wrap the hand, starting with the padding first on the front, then come around the thumb. Now it's time to smother that wrist. Now remember, the joint that we're looking to protect is here. That doesn't mean that we're just going to go around that joint. I want to go a little bit above and a little bit below, but really putting lots of this wrap around that joint, which is only going to make it more secure. And another thing to do, when you're finishing off the wrap, you want to put your Velcro strap finishing on that joint, because if you see, this Velcro is thick plastic. Again, that gives less movement in your wrist there. Now let's add another extra layer of protection. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the tape back around this wrist right here, just like I did on my hand before I had the wrap on. And I've went up and down, begin protecting this joint. Now, I can hardly move this wrist. So I've got another 2 more layers of protection that I'm going to show you. First one, when you're putting your glove on, if you've got Velcro gloves, it's important that when you're pulling it over, you want to get the Velcro strap to go over the crease. This crease is what moves. If you've got the Velcro strap over the crease, like that, it can move very little. And now for the final layer of protection, I've got this duct tape. What I'm going to do is put the duct tape around the joint of the glove. And as well, come high up here as you can on this as well. Now, that right there is the best way to protect your wrists when you're boxing training, bar none. If you've ever seen back in the day, Barrera, Morales fights, you see the way they tape the gloves up. They've always taped the gloves up all the way at the top there. Because another thing what this does, which it's great for, and I used to do this for every training session, it pulls the padding to the front of the glove, making it way more compact. So when you're punching, you can really blast in that power. This is a great method, a great way, the best way. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like on the video, leave me a comment and subscribe to this channel for lots more videos like this. I'm here to help you.